looking at correcting authoritatively. That's why I said, parents, please come closer. Correcting authoritatively. How safe is our correction? How well do we manage that instruction with that child? Or maybe with your subordinate in the office? The way you present it, how was it? Was it harsh? Was the word, the way the tone you used, how well was it? Even if the person was not ready or would have want to consider the way you presented it and just want to do it because, okay, let me just go. But how did you push it out? To discuss this morning is the CEO of Trust Consult, okay? Trust Leadership Consult. In person of Oluremi Lawal, he is also a parenting coach and is an author as much as possible, a man of the word. And this morning we have Oluremi Lawal joining us very soon, all the way from Ibadan. It's so good to have you this morning. Thank God it's Friday. Barika Juma to all our viewers, Muslim brothers and sisters out there. Okay, so Oluremi Lawal, how are you? How is Ibadan this morning? Let's hear you give us a report of how Ibadan is this morning. How are you?
Thank you. Everywhere is calm and everywhere is peaceful.
Thank God for that. Okay, so Oluremi Lawal, straight to business. We will be looking at correcting authoritatively. And I remember you asked me, why not assertively? And I explained why not. So, can you help us with the definition of correcting authoritatively? And why is it different from assertive, way of correcting?
Okay. Thank you for having me this morning and good morning to all our viewers across the world. I expressed my concern with the topic when it was sent to me and you explained and I understood it. If we had spoken from the point of correcting assertively, we probably would not capture some of the things we are going to be capturing this morning. So you see, the essence of correction is to avoid repetition. So if the essence of correction is to save people from repeating the mistake or making another mistake, we should correct assertively, not authoritatively. Unfortunately, correcting authoritatively, you may find it a bit difficult, is when we do correction from the point of fear. When we do correction from the point of fear, we're afraid of all the things we have heard. I don't want to raise a bad child. I don't want to be a bad parent. So you want the child to become an instant adult. That's not possible. So this morning, in addressing this thing, we're going to look at three things. From the nurture nature point of view, number one. Number two, the cognitive implication of correcting authoritatively. And then lastly, what is the way forward? What is the best approach to correct assertively? So first, you said I should give a definition of correcting authoritatively. I think I did that earlier and your mini feature did a good job explaining it. You see, when you correct with the idea of just trying to straighten somebody up, you're going to mess things up. You're going to do it from the point of anger, disappointment, and fear of failure. So if you can eliminate these three, then when something happens, you have an understanding of who you are. That, look, I don't handle things properly when there is crisis. You relax. So you don't necessarily need to scold the child immediately. So that would inform your judgment when correcting. So correcting authoritatively means you just want to straighten up the child. You want a child that is obedient. And our definition of obedient children are children who follow our instructions, even when it is not leading them in their own direction. So, for as long as a child is says sit down there and the child sits down there, that is an obedient child for a lot of us. And if you come to me, I'll tell you oftentimes that that's not a definition of an obedient child. That's just a definition of of a child that has become a robot, a child you have been able to put in a mold that may likely not lead the child anywhere. So I think I would want to start from there this morning, Olori.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Splitting and helping us to set the pace on assertiveness and authoritatively. Now, you said something about the need for correction, and because you want to avoid certain things. Why do parents fear? Why do they remember their failure? Why do they usually use that as a peg of being authoritative on their children? Why?
Okay, you see, what we all do is called projection. It's actually called projection. We project everything we have been told, everything we have heard, everything we have been through. We project it on the people around us. So even as parents, those days they say to you, if you do this, this is what you will get. But experience is beginning to show us something different. So let me put it in proper perspective. I said I'm going to do three things. Let me start from the nature nurture. See, no child by nature was born bad. No child by nature was born troublesome. No child by nature was born recalcitrant. No. Everything we all become today is as a result of nurture. So we need to understand that man is about 15-20% nature. So I know those instinctive things to do. I know how to breathe without being taught. I know how to look without being taught. I know how to listen without being taught. I know that I need to move my legs when I need to walk. Those are nature. But you see, nurture will tell me where to go. Nature will tell me to move. Nurture will tell me where to go. Nature will tell me I can do, but nurture will tell me what I should do. And when it comes to the point of nurture, this is where we all miss it. We try to nurture children to be us, not to be them. So when you want to nurture a child to be you, you want to nurture a child to correct your own errors, you want to nurture a child to go the way you couldn't go, then you begin to recreate a life, and that becomes a problem for children. So that is number one. Then number two, to the question you asked, is why do we correct from the point of fear? We are the ones who label people. We label them once they fail. It'll be a waste of time. The parents has failed and all of that. So you're afraid of being labeled, and that fear is what will make you nurture a child poorly. In the law of attraction, if that's what you're running from, that's what you will get. So rather than running from something, can you please run to something? Have an image of what you would want your children to be like, not who they should be. I would want my children to be God-fearing. I would want my children to be valuable to the society. I would want my children to be people of high moral values. Have those pictures and then begin to take steps that will inch them every day to those pictures. Not I don't want my children to be stupid. I don't want my children to be foolish. So everything you're doing is to stop them from being stupid, but in actual fact you're pushing them to stupidity. Everything you do. Now this is it. There are key things that are important to children: attachment, attention, affection, appreciation. So you see, when you don't and give them room for expression, when you correct authoritatively, you deny the child attention, you deny the child appreciation. You deny the child the opportunity to express because you're scolding the child without understanding the reason for which the child did whatever he or she did. And once you take these things away, you have broken connection. So you could get the child not to do those things before you going forward, but you will never stop the child from doing other bad things, because for children, the moment connection is broken, they will definitely find something else to connect with or someone else to connect with, and in most cases they will connect with people you would never like. Bear that in mind. If you don't create proper connection for your children at home, they will either be finding connection to drugs, connection to sex, connection to gadgets, or connection to wrong people. I want us to bear that in mind. You can see how I built it up from nurture nature to this point right now. The moment you do not allow your children to feel connected, because every time that they walk in error, the next thing is somebody is opening scriptures for them. There are two people, like I mentioned their names. One just happened recently, who is in the tech business, and the other person is in the music world. These two people will do anything they will do just to get the attention they didn't get from their parents. So everything you see them do is their means of trying to connect with people because they didn't feel connection growing up. The first one is Kora Obidi. The second one is this Ezra that just happened recently. The world can go ahead and blame them. I do not blame them. I blame their nurture. Why they were being nurtured? They were being nurtured to be very serious-minded, be very religious, be very useful to the society. But see the end product. Nobody connected with them. Now they are connecting with everything they could find. Once it gives them feeling that they want. If you put these people down, they don't like what they are doing. If it requires for Kora Obidi to go naked so that she could get attention, she will do it. It doesn't matter to her. And you want to blame her. Now go and check these people. These are people who are from strong rooted religious background. So it's important you give attention, affection, appreciation, and room for expression to your children. When you do this now, finally, why you correct from the point of fear that makes you authoritative is because your mind would remember one wrong over 1,000. If I do right things to you for 1,000 times and I do one wrong thing, your mind will place value on the one wrong thing over the 1,000 things. So every time you make reference to me, you would never remember the 1,000 times I've been nice to you. You would only remember the one time I've been wrong to you, because your mind is meant to keep you safe, not to make you prosperous. Your mind is to protect you and then to make you connect. So if your mind is not finding protection, your mind is finding resentment. If I cannot with you, I will resent you. If I cannot connect with you, I will detach from you, connect to other people, items, or drugs.
Hey, this is deep. So while you are trying to make your children to walk or move in the direction you want them to move, stereotype way, very rigid, not flexible, they rather want to choose something that suits them. And in this regard, this will lead some children to do those things, when they finally grow up, they do those things that are convenient for them and forget that was there. I was just, waiting for a time like this to just explode and just come out the way I want. Okay, no regular happy celebration and birthday wishes goes to everyone watching us celebrating on this beautiful day, even till Saturday and Sunday. We wish you happy, happy, happy celebration. And we pray you always have reason to rejoice and to always have thanksgiving round your heart from your lips to God. Okay, so happy birthday to Temidayo Folari. Okay, Temidayo Folari of Ignite Intercessory Prayer Ministries. Also to Assistant Pastor Olubumi Okoje, who is having another year. Today we wish you happy birthday, happy, many more beautiful, resounding joy from Lagos Province through Mass Choir and also to Adasa Women sisters. Happy birthday from myself and everyone in Galaxy Television. That is Benita Okoje and Belarus Okoje's mom. And a big shout out goes to this beautiful Ignite family, Ignite Intercessory Prayer Ministries. As you know, you celebrate and you have a new opening of the new building. We pray God who has set your foot on that path will continue to do many more beautiful things in your life. A big shout out to you for all the prayers, and it's so good to be part of that Ignite family. On that note, we're still talking about our topic today. Correcting authoritatively. I'll say. The Water Marble said something. We've been discussing with Oluremi Lawal. He is a parenting coach and also the CEO of Trust Leadership. Okay? Trust Leadership Consult. Yes, Trust Leadership Consult. He's joining us from Ibadan. Hello, Oluremi, are you still there? Water Marble said correcting, okay, is much, can do much, while encouragement can actually do more. When you correct, it does much. But when you encourage, it actually covers a lot more. What do you have to say to this?
See, nothing can be truer than that. If there's any English like that, that is perfect. So I want to change our thinking a bit. Hear me very well. Every action of man, good or bad, has a good intention. I'll say that slowly and again. Every action you can think of, murder, adultery, rape, armed robbery, anything, any action, including the good ones, every action of man has a good intention, and you will lose out on knowing what the intention was if you are not calm. You go to court, you see a judge. The judge knows that what this person did is wrong, but the judge wants to know, and which is why in court they judge intentions, not always the action. Ever wondered why somebody would steal a phone and get a 77-year jail term, and somebody took a gun, went to burgle a house and got 3 years jail term? So they are looking at intention. So when you calm down, you would understand why the child is doing this, and that's you giving attention. And that's something money can never buy. That would help you come from the point of encouragement to say, oh, is that what you wanted to do? Okay, what do you think if you had done it this way? Or better still, allow the child, because one of the things you destroy when you authoritatively is their problem-solving ability. That child will never ever be able to solve problems very well, and if they do, they will be to the extreme. So you could just go ahead and ask, okay, what other way do you think you could have done this better? And the child will be like, oh, maybe next time I should have carried it like this, or I should have done it like this, or I should have said it like this. So when you do that, you will then open the eyes, because the essence of correction is to avoid repetition. But when you correct authoritatively, you have not done anything. You've only beaten a child. So the best is to calm down, let the child understand that, look, the idea here is to help you do this better next time, not to repeat it the same way. So that word of marble, absolutely on point.
Thank you very much for doing justice to that. Now, I want to paint the scenario. A scenario whereby you have grown adults and they're already grown, and you as parent or father or mother just still believe that, of course, your Bible will say, you understand, you're still the same as you're still their child. But you still see this child as someone you want to infuse your authority over. I am your mother. Do we need to, you know, make such references even when we are making correction? Or it's something that is supposed to have been in their upbringing, from the upbringing, something they know. Yeah, of course, you're my mom. The way I relate with my mom is different from the way I relate to my teacher or my friends. And when I'm being corrected, there's this way I come with, my response or reacting to corrections from my mother or my father is different from the way I would do it with friends or people outside who are not my blood. Do we need to pronounce or renounce, recount the fact that I am your mother? You have to do what I have told you to do before such a child take heed. And then what do you think was missing? What was missing?
Okay, I think if I go about needing a signpost to introduce myself to people as a man, then I have a problem. If I need a signpost to introduce people, to introduce myself to people that I am a man, then I have a problem. If I come out and you're not able to see me as a man, one having the problem, you're not having sight problem. So if I need to keep reminding my child that I am the parent, probably I was not a parent from the beginning. God has never taken time every day to remind us that he is God. So he does everything that only God can do. So you don't wake up and hear, don't you wake up, I am God. No, we just recognize that he is God. That's you as a parent must come to that point where you do everything and not need to constantly, echo it. I am your parent, I am your mother, I'm your father. If you have to announce it, then there's a problem that we need, a fundamental one that we need to correct. Secondly, if you're still hounding down your adults, trying to raise them, please forgive me. I wish I could find a more milder word to use. But so that we can all be honest with ourselves, I think the person failed because the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. When he is grown, you're not training again. The child is living according to training. So training does not happen in adulthood. It happens in childhood. So if you're hounding down your children, you're actually looking for control, and which is what we want. We just want to be controlling our children. You call them, they come. You tell them to sit, they sit. You tell them to stand, they stand. No, that's not a child. That's a robot. So you're meant to raise independent, disciplined adults, people who understand processes, who understand procedure, who knows what it takes to stand through things that, look, I'm going to do this. It requires resilience. It requires resilience. That's one thing we are all not teaching our children. Resilience. So you need to teach your children resilience, that they know how to adapt in every situation and circumstance. While Joseph was with his father, none of us, if Joseph never of going, of us would have ever known that his father taught him economics. Joseph Egypt and managed the best global economy at the time, managed properly when it was taught. So when he left, the father worried. He left and he stood by the training father. His father wasn't with him in the house of Potiphar. His father was not with him. His father was not with him in Egyptian palace. And this man retained training. God said, I know Abraham, my servant. He will command his children So command here does not mean you're going to carry cane and stand behind them. Every time they look over their shoulders, they are seeing you. No, that voice, it's your voice they will be hearing. You know that book we all read? What would Jesus do? Every time your child wants to do something, they are thinking through the values you inculcated in them. Don't forget I said nature, nurture. It is the values you inculcated in them that will determine their choices and their decisions at critical times. Not you coming to tell them don't do that at 25. At 18, you should children be independent. At 18, hands off, you are done. In fact, the truth of the matter is that whatever you do at 7, you're just trying to correct. You're not seeing anything because at 7, every child is informed. You know, grace us to do till 10. So if your children, as adults, you're still hounding them down, something went wrong, and it's a fundamental thing. So take them up, bring them like us. Let's examine that past and have them reparent themselves. Because if they don't go through reparenting, it's a problem. I say it boldly today. Over 90% of Nigerian parents need to reparent themselves. I can't be breaking that down because that's topic, but I am saying this today. Only a few of us are parenting. Only a few, rather. Let myself so it doesn't look like I'm doing anything. Only a few parents are parenting from a point of healed emotions. We were all brutalized, we were all traumatized, and then from that point, that's why you shout every time a child, you reduce their creative ability. Every time you yell at a child, you reduce their creative ability and you tamper with your own health. Let me just rest it there, Olori.
Oh my God. You. Okay. I want to. This is deep. I think we'll be talking about that reparenting, exercise some other time. We'll have to bring you on and you'll have to help us to, maybe it's about 2 or 3 episodes of that. We'll go deep into that topic very soon. Oh no. I think we finally will be missing Oluremi Lawal. Okay, it's been a wonderful time with Oluremi. There is no time it comes up and it will not have something, to relate and go deep with when it comes to parenting. Like you said, maybe 95% of parents need a true deeper therapy when it comes to parenting. We need to go through the re-parenting, like he said. And I'll see how we can have him and we'll do like 2 or 3 episodes of that re-parenting. Why do we need it? What is involved in being re-parenting? Why is re-parenting a good thing for us? It will help. It will help in certain way to those who have those young ones coming up. But for those who are already grown, I'm sure there will be so many apologies here and there. I'm sorry I did not do this way, but how many parents are ready to do that? That's another thing, because our ego as parents goes a long way. I'm hurting myself because Oluremi Lawa hurted himself so that it will not look like you're a saint. Okay? I'm not a saint either. But we come together to learn. We come together to share. We come together to educate ourselves, to bring back these values. We need these values to help us project well, continue to run well with our children, and also to give them the right direction to life and to be able to do well in life. Okay? It will help them and it will go a long way. You don't need to shout before your son or your daughter do the needful. And if that child is not doing it right, just, sometimes I just take my eyes away. And when you now come to me to need something, I'll let you know. If you cannot do this for me, why are you asking me for this? As much as I want to give you this, are you ready to do what I have to do? Maybe that is blackmail, you may call it. But sincerely, That's the only way you can, make your points known. You can make it because they're all grown. And if they are still young, this is the time you need to do the needful. Nature nurture. Nurture that child in the way that the child will have a meaningful understanding of what it means to be a child, to be in the house. Don't create a robot. Sit down there, stand up, stand up. They will be able to know when is the right time for them to move around, when is the right time for them to sit down, when is the right time for them to come in, help you, assist you to do household chores and every other thing. This week has been a wonderful time and a wonderful one. A big shout out to Oluremi Lawal, the CEO of Trust Leadership Consult. He has his parenting page on Instagram and also on YouTube. You can always look out for him. Okay, Oluremi Lawal Parenting. You can look out for him. You'll find him. Okay, and I'm sure you'll not be disappointed. He joined us from Ibadan via Zoom this morning, and we're discussing correcting authoritatively. How safe? Because correcting authoritatively is not the safe way to put your children in the right perspective and in the right way to life, the journey ahead of them. That's just what we're saying this morning. It's been a wonderful time. A big shout out to everyone who has made this week with us, all our viewers. We appreciate you. We love you. We wish you the very best of the weekend. And to our editor, the MCR of social media and Ed Station, to our cameraman, to our beautiful Kalista and a darling sister Iribami. Thank you everyone for being part of Family and Value this week and always been a good crew. Innocent joined us this morning. A big shout out. Thank you so much. Okay, now this is what I want you to do. Don't forget to share this. Send it to your loved ones. Send it to that woman who is your neighbor. It can help her. Just tell her, I was watching this to help myself. Now I know, say this one will help you. So maybe two of us watch them together. It will go a long way. Show it to that man who is your spare parts neighbor. Show it to everyone around you. In your office, that woman that always talk about her children, show it to her. They are giving me a headache. That your friend, show it to everyone you think it will help them to know the right thing to do with their children. All the topics we have this week and our previous episodes are all on our YouTube page on Galaxy News and also on Facebook on Galaxy Television. Type television in full on Facebook. You can always catch up with us on those two social media page. We love you. We wish you the very best, and we pray this weekend will not be the least one. A big shout out to 95 said, and I'll be hosting their alma mater tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. My name's Remain Olori Adejoke Adubi David. A big shout out to our HOP and ASM, Mr. Taslim and Mr. Adewale, and to the president of Galaxy Television. Hope to see you next week.